like crazy over here. The heck we got going on? All right. So, up front, MMA here. I like to take like a nice bong rip right before starting the show. That way, if anything goes wrong, I can blame it on the previously smoked marijuana. That being said, a lot of talk around town today about UFC 200 versus UFC 300. Now, I don't know how many of you all happen to be alive during UFC 200, but it was some lit shit, brother. Not that 300 was not lit. No. I'm not saying that. But we all knew how 300 was kind of thrown together. You know, it was like piecemeal together, and there was some great fights. You know, but UFC 200 was banger fights, start to finish, which we'll go over. And they were both excellent. But us old fellers, us old heads, it's going to be hard to tell us that UFC 200 was beaten by UFC 300. I had somebody say, look at the metrics. Look at the metrics, the numbers, how much they did. Bro, that's like the stupidest thing you could say. The UFC is tripled, quadrupled, maybe 10x'd since UFC 200, bro. Man, they were bought out and then sold again. They were bought, made public, and then sold again. You fucking kidding me? You're gonna try to compare the two. But anyway, that's what young, stupid people say is dumb shit like that. Excuse me. Excuse my French. My background here, see, that's why I'm an amateur. My background's supposed to constantly be doing its thing, you know? But it's not. That's fine. Hold on one second. Let's fucking argue with it for a minute. Yeah, it's even on loop. That's because streaming software, like everything else, is shitty. Just kidding. So anyway, UFC 200, 300. Good fight. Oh, I wanted to start off with a little bit of, while people are joining the chat, I wanted to just play a little fun something or other before we get too far into life. I think this is a funny little comedy skit, and if you do jiu-jitsu, I'm sure you probably think it's pretty funny too.
And is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, because apparently I'm not hot enough to marry a black belt. Do you guys know what jiu-jitsu is? Okay, well, for those of you who don't, it's grown men rolling around on the floor together and pretending it's not sexual. My friend was like, Rachel, you must feel so safe walking around at night with Peter. And I was like, why? Because you can straddle a
Bro, if you're not thinking sexually during jiu-jitsu, you're doing it all wrong. It's like
bad guy. And he wants me to learn jiu-jitsu for self-defense. I'm like, if I want to get mounted by my attacker, I just won't fight back. But when he comes back from the dojo, like that's what they call their clubhouse. When he comes back from the dildo, he's dripping sweat, he's bleeding, he has a black eye. I'm like, are you ever gonna get a black belt? Because I saw them on Amazon for like $3.99. So
that shit is pretty funny. Pretty funny, I'll say. But anyway, back to UFC 200 and 300, the comparison. UFC 200 was lit, start to finish. I'm sorry, but UFC 300 was lit, but it was not start to finish. You know what I'm saying? So let's go over the two. Let's see what we've got here. Bunk. And nope. Incorrect. Man. Amateur hour over here. Almost. There we go. All right. Close enough. Wow, I don't even have it on the screen so y'all can see it. So, it's a little weird on your guys' screen, but you get the idea. So you had UFC 200. You had Tate versus Nunes, which, you may think today, not that big of a deal, but it was kind of a big deal. That's probably the weakest one on the card, actually. The two female fights, they were very good, but I don't know. Either way. But then you had, let's start at the low end. Let me get out of the way. So, Jim Miller, good Lord, Takanori Gomi. Sheesh, that's why I said I take that bong hit so I can blame anything that goes wrong on that shit. I mean, you got two incredible fighters. Gomi with some pride, 10-fight win streak. Everybody loved him. Jim Miller, he was in UFC 300 too, so he's always been just fan favorite. And you had Mousasi versus Santos. Some of you new cats are probably like, who? No, nothing about them. Santos is still in the roster, I guess, but he had some injuries, and I don't know if we're going to see him again, but very good fighter. Mousasi, man, he's like very arrogant kickboxer, but he was good. He's real good. I think he's still fighting. Pretty sure he's still fighting. Diego Sanchez and Joe Lozon. I mean, come on, Diego Sanchez, tough alumni from the first. Joe Lozon, always cool fighter, great jiu-jitsu, great striker. These are all people. Then you had Sage Northcutt. Now that's like the, how the UFC always wants to make you like somebody, like throw them in your face into, you maybe like them or not. Nina Drama. Yeah, so they kind of threw him in there, but everybody was hoping that maybe he would get beat. You know what I mean? Big, juiced up, probably, I don't know, man, whatever. But that was the common thing. Guy, handsome as a Beverly Hills 90210 character. Everybody's like, man, I hope this guy gets knocked out. TJ Dillashaw and Rafael Asunciao. Come on, man. That was when Dillashaw was Killishaw, boy. That was that's a great fight. Johnny Hendricks, Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, come on. You all probably don't remember no Johnny Hendricks, you younger ones. But I'm saying he's the one that put it on GSP so bad that GSP was like, yeah, I'm done with this whole thing. Forget about that. Hold on one second. Y'all give me cotton mouth. It ain't the weed. Where will it be? Kat Zingano, Juliana Pena. It's a good fight. This is when this is why these two women fights to a male were. All right, let me just get right to it. Today, all UFC fighter women, not all, but I guarantee you 10% have OnlyFans pages. Where, I mean, you can go and just see them. Man, it's crazy, bro. I did a whole piece on that, but it was just, everybody was hating too much, but I mean, how can you disagree with the UFC needs to pay their people so they don't have to resort to OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Anywho, we can argue about that later. Then you had Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown. You know what I mean? Heavyweight bout. Sick, man. Cain Velasquez. I wonder how he's doing. Every once in a while, I check how he's doing with his court thing. Somebody touched his kids and he went out and lit them up. He pieced them up with the old pistola. And, so he's still facing issues with court. He hasn't been fully sentenced yet, I know. But I know he was out for a little while, in and out. I think he's out right now, but I don't know the status. And Travis Brown, he's married to Ronda Rousey currently. But he was like this big, intimidating fella, man. So these are every single one of these fights so far has been like, everybody was like, yes, man, this is so good so far. Now it just gets stupid. Jose Aldo. I mixed them together. That'd be in Frankie Aldor. I don't know. Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar. I mean, that's just two incredible fighters in their prime at the time. Daniel Cormier versus Silva when Cormier was still cutting the 205. I mean, it was like Anderson Silva at that time was like, he's your Conor McGregor back then. for sure. You know, Daniel Cormier, legend. He was on his rise back then. He was still pretty much coming out of Strike Force. Nah, I'm saying compared to today, you know, it wasn't like right after Strike Force. Then you had now this is the one that everybody was lit about was the Brock Lesnar one and Hunt. He said, Brock Lesnar, so stupid. It doesn't matter what people say. That was the most crazy bananas shit at the time. And I can remember this is when people used to go to like Wild Wings and little bars, and they would have some drinks with their buddies and sit down and watch the fights. You know what I mean? And so you would feel it because there's other people around you too. And at home you could feel it because let me see. I think I got the Brock's entrance pulled up here. Now I'm probably gonna get copyright stricken because it's got a song in it, but who cares? Of an era, as a matter of fact. This is indicative. This whole 200, 300 discussion is indicative of an era. So back then, it was tough shit, man. It was UFC's. It was some hella fucking gangster fighters, and the style was more like raw, you know, like more testosterone, juice headed out, masculine. Yes. Nowadays, ever since, I blame Lil Wayne. Back in the day, it was baggy everything, because we had drugs here and guns here and Uzis and missile launchers. Then Lil Wayne put on little tiny skinny pants, and now everybody changed up into this, I don't know, like little skinny thing, and it's reflected in the people who we watch, because I watch them too, that do MMA media. You know what I mean? Take a look at any of them on like YouTube or something. Not again, and here on X even. Look at the ones that you watch. You know, great fellas, hilarious, but not the most rough and tumble kind of fellas. If you get where I'm coming from, and you know that's all good. It's fine, but it's times have changed, and all I'm making the equation is that UFC 200 to 300 people in UFC 300 don't understand what was going on back there in UFC 200 unless you were there. You don't get it. And if you were there and an adult at the time, which I was an adult during UFC 1, fellas, I just look incredible. I'm the Saint Germain of MMA, believe me. That being said, it's a whole different ball game, a whole different mentality, and it's evidenced. If you were back there and alive at that time, you weren't emasculated. Unfortunately, you were. It was before the emasculation of the male. I'm sorry to all y'all. I don't know, man. If I was like a younger kid today, I don't know. Don't you want to lift some weights or something, bro? Like nothing. I don't get it. I don't know. To each his own. But anyway, let's get back to this walkout, which was loved him or hate him. People hated this motherfucker at the time. People loved him at the time. But like I said, it wasn't nobody gonna talk to him to his face because this dude's 300 pounds. He was the original one to cut to 260. Then Frank Mir made the mistake of juicing up to try to outsize Brock. We're like, bro, you had him the first time. But then, yeah, the second time, he got lumped the fuck up by Brock. I mean, he took a lumping. Everyone has said that Brock's hands, my hands is pretty big. Brock's were big as lunch pails. I am so dumb. I could have grabbed my own guitar and played this shit for y'all. Dang it. That's an easy Metallica song. 38, Mark Hunt was a beast. You know what I mean? He's still... You gotta love this guy, man. He's going through like some tough times, man, with like depression and stuff, because he's been the one that's been leading the fight against the UFC, that massive civil lawsuit. You hear him today, that man just sounds like he's worn down. They won it, but I don't think like it's all finished up yet with exactly what's gonna happen with the divvying up of the funds. But either way, two big old boys. You know, Mark Hunt, he's known for his one punch walk off, knockouts, knocks him out, and just he don't even wait for the guy to get up. He's already outside of the ring. He knows that shit's done. He's like, "Yep, we're good here." And then you had what's it called? Amanda Nunes. Hold on. I need to get one of them engineer guys like a Jamie or whatever the hell Joe Rogan has in this motherfucker. That'd be cool. Do all the tough shit. What was I saying? Oh, Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes and Misha Tate. Again, this is pre-OnlyFans. You know, it's like, wow, one cute woman fighting her ass off. You know, so, you know, that was very exciting at the time. So now let's look at 300. Again, saying it's not bad. Davis and Figueiredo, Cody. See what I do with that shit? That's the weed. Cody Garbrandt. That's a great fight for sure. Bobby Green, Jim Miller, great fight. Like I said, Jim Miller, he made it. He was in 200 and 300. That's the guy who we need to get into the Hall of Fame. I think he's still fighting, but this guy, if you watch Jim Miller's career, it's just always him and Joe was on both. Two guys who I don't really think get their due from the younger crew. Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez. Come on, what a banger. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm being facetious. Like, really? Okay, I guess. So there's your first. Hold on. Over here, 200, we had no. Not one. Zero. Every single one I just went through and everybody was excited for, man. They were excited. Takanori Gomi. That's the one that Nick Diaz go-go plotted. Crazy, one of the craziest submissions in MMA. Ironically, the first submission I ever landed on somebody. It's a crazy move. I thought I invented the shit when I did it. So there you go. Hanato Moicano, Jalen Turner. Hanato Moicano, whatever, Moicano. That's a great fight. You know, he's a fan favorite. We all love him. Jalen Turner, I'm sure he has big fans. I'm sure he has a huge fan base. But again, it's like the skinny jean generation, man. Like little tiny skinny people. Stick figure generation. Diego Lopez, Sodiq Yusuf. Again, I'm from Sodiq Yusuf's area, so that's really good to me. But to the average UFC fan, that fight's a, you know what I mean? That's filler. That's filler material right there. They threw this one in late, and everybody don't say you weren't one of the ones that was like, why did they throw this one in there? Kayla Harrison and Holly Holm. You know, everybody was like, what? Because remember, in the build-up to 300, the whole card was like, who's going to be on it? It should have been, I know y'all remember, the whole build-up, it was like, we should have had answers long ago. You know, we were like, who's going to be on this damn card? So that was one of the ones that as they were piecemealing it together along the way, they were like, Kayla Harrison, Holly Holm, you know, and everybody, and Dana was all excited about it, and all of us were like, great fight, you know, a fight everybody wants to see, but is it like centennial anniversary quality? No. Aljamain Sterling, Calvin Cutter. Yeah, man, of course. That's a banger of a fight. Of course. I love style versus style shit. You know, I to this day, I love that. I'm telling you right now, the fight to make is Mikey Musumeci versus Ryan Garcia in MMA. If you don't know who Mikey Musumeci is, go do your homework. You mean a real MMA fan if you don't know who he is, because, boy, that's jiu-jitsu superstardom right there. Little guy, but not to be messed with, this guy. So then, Yuri Prohaska, Alexander Rakic. Again, if you're a Yuri fan, which everybody really, you know, this is one of the fights that made people huge Yuri fans. Again, great guy. I'm a fan too, but, you know, Alexander Rakic, this is not UFC Centennial material. I don't think. Bo Nickel and Cody Brundage. Nobody in the world knows what a Cody Brundage is. Bo Nickel, he's a rising star. That's such an obvious. Remember earlier we were talking about people that try to force on you, like you're gonna like this person, and you're like, I just don't want to. I want to like him. But Bo Nickel, he's likable. So they force him upon you, but he's the man. You know what I mean? Bo Nickel is a fucking machine. I hope he takes it all the way. I'm pro wrestler, pro jiu-jitsu. I really like Muay Thai too. It's terrible. It's terrible. That's how my whole career training went. Which one do I want to do? Then you have female fan favorite Charles Oliveira. A lot of people are his fans. I'm his fan too, but my goodness, man, if you follow any females, man, I gotta smoke more or less marijuana before this shit. Yeah, if you follow any MMA females, they're like, whoa, Charlie Olives, yes. Which, I get it, good looking guy. And then Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, of course. This, my friends, is UFC Centennial 300 material right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So let me see, out of all of them so far, let me see I'm thinking Centennial quality here. No. I'm going to say yes to this one just because Jim Miller was in the first one. Was in 200. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give that a go. No, not even close. Not even close. No. Prelims. Yeah, I can deal with that on the early prelims. Aljamain and Cutter, in my opinion, no. Great fight, but just not Centennial. Yuri. So basically, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, great fight. Alex Pereira, big star. I mean, we'll just skip past Zhang and Yao Jianan. I mean, everybody, great fighters, but they're just not really polarizing. They're polarizing to who they're polarizing to. Don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about, it's almost like we got to throw a female fight on there. It's in the main card. And then Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Which, I don't know, man. I feel like he's another one of them ones that just pushed on you. He won the Contender Series, or was on the Contender Series, and now they're just like, Jamal, all in your face. But he's like crying about trolls and stuff. Like, bro, you're so funny. Like, trolls troll because you respond, because that's like, it doesn't matter if you respond negatively, positively. That's the whole goal, man. And you fall for it every time, and it makes you look silly. Now, it's different for somebody like me. I argue all the time on X and Twitter because it's fun, you know what I mean? But I'm a virtual nobody in this. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a UFC fighter. So anyway, there you have it. On UFC 200 and 300. Now I'm going to address real quick an important topic because so many people are like, how? This is a whole nother topic. So let me get it to another topic talk here. Everybody's like, how do you have 100 and some thousand followers and you have no, what's it called? People liking, sharing, when people seeing this shit. They're like, you bought your followers. People, you need to look back here. Hold on, let me pull this up. I had it pulled up. Go to here. This was made in 2009. Okay? If I don't have a certain amount of followers by now, then I shouldn't have them. Hold on, let me think. I actually took some notes about this shit. Oh, yeah. Duh. Because I gotta have my notes because I was smoking. I didn't tweet on this mother effer for a long time. Twitter was dead. I was number one over here for sure. all the older UFC fighters, your Game Reds, your celebrities like Anthony Bourdain. They were followers back then. But I didn't tweet for like 5 years, maybe more, because Twitter was just it was a dead playground. And then it's almost like a World of Warcraft account, It's like, all right, Twitter's becoming cool again. All right, let me log back into my old account and see, see what kind of gear I've earned along the way for being here and all that kind of stuff. Elder accounts. So the people that, if you can go through my if you want to take the time and go through the people that follow, there's a slew of Brazilian people because it was, I forgot to mention, it used to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu page. There's so many things. That's why I had to write them down. There's like so many facets. It used to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu page. So a ton of them are Brazilians who don't even look at their last tweet. It'll be like 2011, 2012. These people who used to be active, you know what I mean? But they aren't. Just like me, I went away. So these are all old people. What did I say? Yeah. Oh, if they were paid accounts, if I paid for those, let me show you first how much that shit would cost. You know what I mean? I looked it up after I was accused. All right, so let me tell you the backstory. Is one of you guys real big on X? One of the trying to be popular guys. One of the ones with 7,000 people they follow and 7,000 followers type deal. You all know him. I ain't gonna blow him up on here. He's a young guy, good kid, I guess. He's ambitious, but I guarantee you follow him. So I was bought him because he wasn't even accusing. He was like, "Yo, I'm trying to buy them bitches too." He's like, "Hook me up. Where's the source?" And I was like, "Can you even do that and shit?" So I looked it up, and yeah, you can. $10,119. See, this fool thinks I'm paying $900 just so I can have people not respond to my shit. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, why would I not foresee that that's the way it would go, that I would tweet some shit and nobody's gonna see it anymore? But don't worry. It'll be right on back. I was number one before, be number one again. Stuck with me, my friends. You know why? Because I've been around longer than them, and better looking than all of them, and I can beat them all up too, because they all skinny jeans wearing. Jesse on fire, blue belt. Forget about it, buddy. Just sit on down, kid. Like an MMA guru. I'm not gonna talk about people. But either way, I'm not going anywhere. The cream rises to the crop, as it did in the past. It will again. What else about my following? Oh, if you're concerned about my following, then that comes from a place of jealousy. First of all, like, why are you worried about who follows me, who don't follow me? I'm tweeting or Xing, posting, just for the shit of it. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy to do it. Because I'm funnier. Also, more funnier than these other influencers. And what else? Yeah, you're concerned because you're jealous if you're worried about my shit. Yeah, y'all don't remember. Twitter was dead for a while. This is like me going back and opening a MySpace, like going back 15 years, and let me open my old MySpace account and post, and like, oh man, I have 50,000 people on MySpace. There's nobody, they're not there anymore. They're just not there. But either way, I'm not going to talk all night about my following, but now I can refer to this when everybody's like, why do you have 100,000 followers? And you bought them and whatever. And also, if you were to buy them, I've seen people who have a ton of followers, but their bots reply in this motherfucker. Now that's gangster. Like if a bot's going to give you engagement, which is going to get you money, that could be a wise investment. But I don't care if I get engagement, because I know the engagement's going to come, because it will. Don't worry about it. You guys in here, there's only like 50 of you. I'm a bit braggadocious and cocky at times and shit, and I apologize for it, but I'm from that era, man. I'm different than these younger guys. God bless them. God bless. I watch them. I'm fans. Don't get me wrong. I am fans. MMA Guru's on right now. I didn't want to stream because I wanted to watch what he was going to say. You know, and after I get done here, I'm going to go and watch what he said. I'm a fan, 100%. Jesse on Fire, everything he posts I watch. But just different guy. But anyway, you all, thank you for watching and all of those good things, and may all of your wildest dreams come true.
Yeah. Yeah.